2016 GMC Sierra or a Chevrolet Silverado, and possibly even a Tahoe or a Yukon. Gonna do the AC condenser. What you need to do is discharge your Freon, whatever is in there, however you may do it, it's up to you. And then you want to remove this panel on top. I think there's what, 12 little stupid clips. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 of them. Remove this panel. Get that panel off. Then you got these things that go over here on the sides. Those are held on by 10s. 2 10s. One on each side. One on this corner and one on that corner. These are the clips that you got to remove. Okay. Next, you want to remove the 2 bolts for the radiator. The bolt to this piece, 13 millimeter head. There's one here, and there's one over here. Right here, 13. Okay. Next, we need to do is remove our air box. Undo you a little faster, pull it up, and then you can push in a clip, disconnect your mass airflow. Then you want to remove your air box. You got your 8 millimeter and you got your 4 8 millimeters around the air box. Separate it and get this piece out, because right down in here is this 10 millimeter bolt going up to the bottom. And there should be another one right here going up to the bottom. And you need to take your latch off, or just take this off and loosen these up. And that goes up underneath there. So I would just take it off and then get these 2 out, pull the latch out of the way, and then you can get to the 13 millimeter head there. Here's the air filter box screws, remove them. Okay? I need a long extension to get down in there and get to them. Take them out. Here's the 2 13s that go to the radiator that holds them onto that bracket. Remove the top of the air filter assembly. Get that out of the way. Pour your air filter out. And you want to remove this box. It's just held in with those grommets. One there and one there, and that one just kind of slides in there. So try not to bust them off, okay? Just pull them up. You can get some lube in there and spray them down with some penetrant. But when you're going back together, put some penetrant on them so they slip right in. Because you want to be able to get access inside here. You remove your 2 bolts from your latch. You can see where they were. Make sure when you go back together, you put them exactly in the same spot. Try not to rub it. You rub the markings off, then you can remove this other 13 right here. Okay, on the passenger side, you want to remove this panel. Just undo the 3 clips, that one, and there's 2 more over here. Get a ratchet, 10 millimeter ratchet, and get to this one, 10 millimeter. And get that one out, and get this one out also, right here. If you want, you can get a 6-inch extension with a swivel. That'll reach in there to get it. And then on the driver's side, you got yours right here. Get to that one with a ratchet, 10. And on this one, you need the 6-inch extension with a swivel. And you also want to remove this 10 for here, so you can move this thing around just a little bit. You put your ratchet down here below, and it goes all the way up, and you can get it. You can stick your finger inside here, and you can feel it and guide it down there, and you'll be able to get it off. Okay, you got 3 bolts on each side on the core support. One here, and one there, and one there. What I did was I took this bolt out for this. Didn't really help them out much, but they're going up to the bottom. On this one I used the ratchet. And this one I used the ratchet, 10 millimeter. And on this one I used a 6-inch with a swivel. As my swivel. And I kind of used a little extension on this one to help me out, because I couldn't hold it any longer. I had to put it with my finger. And on this side I used the ratchet. Use my ratchet and my little extension with my 10mm swivel, and I can use my ratchet on this one with the 10mm with the short extension also. All right, so now I got those 6 out. Here's what they look like, and here's my washer bottle one. So now it's loose. We can take it out. Okay, it doesn't come straight out, but what you need to do is shove it all the way that way so you can push it forward and you can pick it up. Okay, shove it all the way that way, move it this way, pick it up past this little corner, and you can pick it up. And now the whole thing's loose and you can take it out. Okay, now the whole thing's loose. Now you need to do is pull this piece up, little shroud, just clips into the radiator, and then down below has a little hook, goes into another shroud. Stick a long skinny screwdriver in there, push a little tab in, and then you can pull it up. And we'll go and do the other side the same way. See it right there? It's right there. You're pushing that little tab. It's always easier to look at than look through the camera. Okay? And I need to pull it out of this section of the radiator also. Okay, it's loose. Here it comes. Now it's done. Alright. Now you can see it pretty good. You can see how nice and dirty your radiator is too. Everything else, I don't see no money in there. Alright. Now this has got the trans in it, cooler also. So here's the one for trans. And then you got these black clips. Pull the black clip off, and then you got the E-clip there. You gotta pull that E-clip out, or if you got the tool. Same thing over here on passenger side. Remove the black clip, and then you remove the E-clip. Then you can go down below. You see that 10 down there? That's what's bolting the line to the radiator, kind of holding it like a fastener. Let's see if I can see it. Right there. See it? Right there, that one. I'm gonna remove that 10mm bolt. And then down below is your line for your AC. It's down here farther. If I can get it. It's inside there if you can see it. Here's that 10mm that went into the radiator, and you got your little bracket. I think I broke the bottom of it off, but what it does is take the bolt out. Once it's bolt out, you can take the whole thing and swing it down like that, and you can and then bring it up and unclip it. And then down below where your lines go this way, it goes into a little junction block. And there's a stud with a 13mm head nut on it. It's right down here. And that is your line. See the 2 lines right there? Boom, boom. And the block is like right there. So you need to get a ratchet with a 13 deep on it. Get down in there and remove that nut. Then you can wiggle your lines off. I used a 1/4 inch 13 and removed the nut. Like I said, there's your lines, one there and one there, and the block is right about here. Kind of hard to see, but it's right there. You just have to put your hands down there. What I do is I stuck my socket on there with the extension, and put the extension and socket on there first, and then put my ratchet on the end of the extension. Okay, what you do is you go over there, you stand on a little step stool, reach down in there, grab the top one, wiggle it back and forth, and pull this whole thing off. And then the top one comes off and the compressor is the discharge line. And then you got the other one that goes to the evaporator, which is this one. Okay. Pull that one out, wiggle it and pull it. All right. Okay, I removed the E-clips from my trans-cooler lines on the condenser. Now on this one, it goes into a little bracket right here. What you do is you just kind of get a screwdriver in there and you pry it off. Just pry it off, you know, pulls right out of there. Same thing with this side. Put a screwdriver in here, pops right off. Doesn't really have no corrosion in there because it's on top, not down below. Yeah, okay. And then now your condenser goes into these little holders, and they got a little lever on them that's holding them. So you need to get a smaller screwdriver, and you need to push the little lever over. Okay, because this piece clips onto that. This piece here, you need to push that towards the radiator. Okay, because that gets in the way of the condenser. Here's the condenser. Stupid light. Okay. Here's the condenser. Here's part of the condenser bracket. Here's the piece, the U shape for the radiator. And then this piece is the clip. You need to push that towards the radiator so you can pull the condenser up. Okay, it's like a little clip. Got them on both sides. And the bottom, it just, pretty sure it just goes into a U down below. Yep, there's no clip on the bottom, just on the top. So get a skinnier screwdriver to get in there and pry that piece over. See how I got it pushed over? And now the condenser should just pull straight up. It's in there, it's pretty tight. Okay, so I did that one, and that's how I did that one. So you need to pull up on that condenser. It's in there pretty good. Okay, the condenser pulled up out of the radiator brackets. Now, you need to get a Torx. Darn it, I don't know what size Torx it is. Inverted Torx. But you see that right there? See that threaded rod? That goes into the condenser. That's what the nut went on. So what you want to do is you want to get that Torx on there, and you want to put it on there, and you want to remove that stud, because that stud is preventing you from pulling that condenser straight up. See how it would hit that metal frame there? So you need to remove that. Let me see if I can find you what size Torx that is. It must be a 7, because I got an 8 and I got a 6, so it must be a 7. Okay, I removed it. All right, now I should be able to pull that condenser straight up, no problem. All right, there's the condenser. And make sure you swap these over. These just clip on there. Okay. Now you can clean out your radiator. Clean all that out inside there. Get all that debris out of there. Blow out your radiator. Okay. And then now we're ready. After we get that done, we're ready for our installation of the condenser. Okay, now that you got the radiator all cleaned out from all your debris, and you're gonna put in your new condenser. I installed my new condenser and I forgot to put oil in it, but I injected oil afterwards at the end of the video. But anyway, I squeezed this in there. So what you want to do, if you can, before you forget, is put 2 fluid ounces of Freon oil in here. If you have the dye type, that'd be great. Pour it into the low side, the big one. Pour it in there and let it drain in there for a little bit. and then you can install your condenser. Okay. Okay, get this cleaned out as best you can. Put your little plastic shrouds on there. Best you can, best they'll fit. I mean, this is a factory condenser, it still don't fit for shit. So I can just imagine an aftermarket one. Okay, got the new E-clips in there, so you don't have to worry about that. No stud comes with that, so you don't have to worry about that. Then all you need to do is put it down in there. Make sure you get these in on both sides. And then these clip into the top. Okay, you got the condenser in there. What you do is you get this side started first because it's got a hook on it. Here, I'll show you. That's got a hook on it. So that's got to go all the way down in order for this to lock. So just get it started and get it lined up, and then get this side, driver's side, lined up. And then go back to the passenger side and push it down in there so it clips in, and then do the driver's side so it clips in. And then next you need to do is your trans lines. What you do is you take it out of those little retainers so you can move the line around a little bit. And once you get the line in there, you can push it back in. And once it gets pushed in all the way, you should be able to put these little black plastic caps back on. If you can't get them on, then the line's not in there properly and the clip is still sticking out. Same thing with the driver's side. You need to take it out of the radiator down below so you can push this line into the condenser. What I do is I use a long pry bar pried up against here and against the line and held on to the radiator and wiggled it in. Okay, so now we got that done. Now we need to do is work on our lower bracket down there. Put that on in, the one with the 10. And then we need to put our stud back in, the condenser, and then put some new seals on our lines and clean them up and put those on. All right, you got your little bracket on with your nut in there. Takes a little bit of time to get that lined up. And now you put your stud back in your condenser with your Torx head. And then you get your lines and get some new O-rings, seals on them. Put them on there. One's with the washer with the O-ring on it. Start this one, get this one in there first, and then get the other one in there. And it goes over this line, fits right into that slot. Push it onto the stud, and you can get your washer on there. Your nut, I mean. Okay, get both your lines on there, and then, okay, good like that. Now you need to do is put the nut on it and tighten the nut up. Okay, you got that nut tightened for that condenser. I just used a 1/4-inch ratchet and a short extension and 13 deep. Tightened it up. I didn't bear down on it, it's only aluminum. Just, it might equal maybe 8 foot-pounds about, but just be careful, you don't want to over tighten it. Okay, now it's time for the upper core support. But we need to put in our piece that goes over the radiator and the condenser, that plastic piece, the shroud. Lock those clips in down below and put these over the circle part of the condenser. This goes over the flange over here, push it in there, work your way down. And then this goes over around it. Make sure that piece of plastic is pushed in so this can go down over it so it fits better. Now it's time for the upper core support. Remember to stick it in and down there first. And then come over here and tuck it underneath. Tilt it a little bit so it goes below that lip and then fits down right on top. Okay, and then you want to line up get your easiest nuts, easiest bolts first. Get them started. Do not tighten them, just get them started, and then you can get the rest of them started, and then you can snug them all up and tighten them. Okay, get to these two with the 10mm ratchet wrench. Get to this one with the 10mm swivel and a 6-inch extension on your 1/4-inch air ratchet or electric ratchet. 6-inch extension, 10mm swivel with your 1/4-inch air ratchet, and these two are your 10mm ratchet wrenches. All right, next thing we're going to do is put this bolt in, and then our latch bolts. Put your little deflector back in with the 3 clips, 1, 2, and then also put your bolt back in for your washer bottle. And next is our air filter, the base. Got the air filter box, the base in. You lube your little nipple studs down the bottom so they slide in. And don't forget about your radiator bolts. Okay. These, put them in there. Get them started. And then tighten them up. Okay. Line up your bolts with the markings from the dirt. Don't forget these brackets, right and left. Got your air filter housing on, you got your 4 bolts, your screws tight, plugged in, your clamp tight. All right, now you need to put the top shroud on. Okay, now that you got it all back together, now you need to put a vacuum on your system. Put your electric vacuum pump on it or a vacuum operated pump. You need to put a vacuum on it. Get down close to 30 inches if possible. Once you achieve that for about 15 minutes, then it'll be time to put some Freon in it. Okay, and this particular unit takes 1.6 pounds of Freon. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, right now it's idling. I got about 32 and about 190 pounds high side. It's about 70 degrees outside. I put about 30 ounces of Freon in it. That's enough. It just didn't seem like it was good enough at 1.6 pounds. Also now that I got it running, I'm gonna add more oil because I forgot my oil. So I got an injector. I'll inject 2 ounces into it while it's running on the low side. And it's nice and cold inside the vehicle. And after I do that, then I'm gonna button it up. And I'm gonna be done. And that's how you do your AC condenser. If I helped you out doing this AC condenser, maybe you can help me out by subscribing. If you already did subscribe, I appreciate it. And I wanna thank you. Okay, good luck.